Okay, next topic class that I'm starting with is your data types. Okay, now hear me out. I'm explaining the meaning of data types by an example, very simple example. Suppose some of my friends, like the same example I'm using, some of my friends are visiting my city. Okay, so what will I have to do? I will have to arrange for their accommodation, right? Okay, so now if I don't know how many friends are visiting, will I be able to arrange the accommodation? No. Like you said earlier also, no. Okay, perfect. I won't be able to arrange the accommodation if I don't know how many friends are coming. Now tell me, class, suppose some of my friends are cats, some of my friends are dogs, some of my friends are human beings. Let's say, just for the sake of discussion, I'm saying, okay? Or along with my friends, their pets are also coming. Okay. So now, since I don't know how many pets are coming, how many humans are coming, and whether pets are coming or not, will I be able to arrange the accommodation accordingly? We won't be storing the pets and the humans in the same room, no? I will have to arrange a separate accommodation for the pet. Do you agree? Take an ideal scenario, not an Indian scenario, okay, but ideal scenario where pets also have a life, pets also are considered living beings, okay? So considering that, okay, I'm saying I will have to arrange accommodation for them also, right? Now, what I'm trying to explain here, whenever some kind of data is incoming or whenever we are storing some data in our system, so it really matters that what kind of data is there, what type of data is there. Because depending on the data type, okay, we will be allocating the memory. Do you agree to this? Perfect. So that is why we are studying data types. Perfect. Okay. Now, data types, all in all, can be categorized into two separate categories. Okay, now this is the categorization that I personally feel the best from my end. Okay, in sense of like understanding. Okay, now first is non-collection data types. Okay, second is collection data types. I will explain the meaning. Don't worry about that. Collection and non-collection. Why I'm using this term precisely. Now, in non-collection data types, there is your integer. Okay. Uh, there is float. There is complex number. There is Boolean. These four are basically non-collection data types. Okay. Then there is collection data types. Collection data types can be again categorized into two categories. First is indexable sequences, and next is non-indexable sequences. Sequences, you can call it as collection also. Indexable collection, non-indexable collection. Okay, that is just a term, not a big deal. Okay, now first is here string, second is list, third is tuple. In case of non-indexable sequences, there is dictionary, there is set. Okay. Now I will be explaining all of them one by one. Okay, I'm just giving you a list now. First is integer. Let's cover the integer first. Simple integer, all of you already know, right? Mathematics, all of you have learned that. Okay, negative and positive integers. Okay. Now, class, there might be places where I will assume that you already know the meaning of something. Like example, in this case, I assumed that all of you already know the meaning of integer, negative or positive integer. So I will assume, in case any of you are not getting the term, okay, tell me then and there. Okay. Now integer, all of you know, positive and negative integers are there. Okay, so that is just a minute. That is simply I can write here x equal to 23. Okay, I can write here y equal to minus 89. Okay, so both of them will be termed as integer. Now there is a function available in Python called as type. Okay, I will write here type of x. So basically type function is basically used. It gives us the data type of the variable, data type of the variable, data type of the data stored in the variable, to be precise. Okay. Now, similarly, if I write here type of y, it will also give us integer because both of them are integer. Okay. Let me mention one thing. Integer is termed as int in Python. Okay. Float is termed as float in Python. Matlab, termed as in it is defined as. Okay. Complex number is defined as complex. Boolean is defined as bool. Okay. String is defined as str. List is defined as list. Tuple is defined as tuple. Dictionary is defined as dict. Okay. And set is defined as set. Okay. So here you can see it is showing integer. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. I am if there is any doubt, you can mention in the chat. Otherwise, I am going forward. Okay. Next is float. Okay. Float is basically decimal point numbers. This is we say now 2.5 that is decimal. Okay. So decimal point number. Suppose let's say I'm writing here x is equal to 2.3. Let's say y is equal to minus 5.89107834. Totally up to you. So if I write here class print x or simply x, same thing, no problem. If you write here type of x, it will give us float. Remember this thing class, one thing. If I write here z equal to 10, okay, this is an integer, but if I write here z1 is equal to 10.0, as soon as point comes, it will become a decimal. It will become a float. Even though both of them are the same values, we know that mathematically both of them are same. Okay. Is this float string? No, float is not a string, Rohit. Okay. So 10.0 is a float. Okay. So if I write here print, let me show you type of z. And if I write here z1, okay, so you can see for the first one it is showing us integer, second one it is showing float. Z is an integer, z1 is a float, even though both of them are same value. Okay, no Rohit. Okay, so that is float class simply. Okay, you can store negative also, negative decimal values, positive values also. Okay, whatever numbers you're mentioning after the decimal point can be as long as you want it to be. Okay, since I explained earlier also, Python follows dynamic memory location. Okay, that means whatever data you are storing in the variable can be of any length. The only limit is your system memory. Are you getting this term, class? Normally, there is no limit to the amount of data you want to store in a single variable. Okay, the only limit that is there is your system memory. Suppose, let's say I am storing some data and that data requires, let's say, for example, 1 MB of memory. Okay, 1 MB is literally too much. So okay, those who are from non-technical background, you might not get this, but 1 MB term, so you must have at least understood, heard somewhere. So 1 MB is a very large amount of memory for storing data. This kind of data, string data, text data, okay, integer data, it is a large amount of memory. Okay, suppose my computer has 1 MB of memory only, so I cannot store data more than 1 MB in my system. That is the only limit. Otherwise, there is no limit. Got it, class? Still here? Okay, I'm moving forward. Okay, next is class complex number. Complex number, I think if you remember, basically complex number is what? Real part plus imaginary part. This complex number, see, if any of you are not getting complex number now due to any reason or you don't remember, it is completely fine. Complex number you won't be using as such. Okay, I have myself, I've used it 2-3 times only. Otherwise, no. I've never used otherwise complex numbers. Okay. So now complex number basically in mathematics basically means it is real part plus imaginary part. There is, if you remember iota, okay. So iota used to be an under root minus one, the value of iota. So that is there. So in Python, see in mathematics we write I. In Python we use J. Okay. How? I will write A is equal to 2 plus 5J. Okay. B is equal to 5.8 minus 2.0J. So you can see both of them are complex numbers. So if I write here type of A, so it will give me complex. Type of B will always also give me complex. Okay, I think all of you got this too. I'm moving forward. Complex number, so you can let it. Clear so far, class, everyone? Moving forward. Sindhu, you are asking, okay, type x comma y. See type function, see when you're writing type, na, you cannot write type a comma b because you can check a type of single thing at a time, not both of them. It will give you the data type of a single thing, single variable only. So you can write type A separately, type B separately, but not both of them in a single code, single type. One thing that you can do, you can write it like this if you want to. Let me just quickly show you. Okay, I was anyway going to show you later on also, so not a big deal. A equal to 10, B is equal to, let's say I'm writing maybe I don't know, 90. Okay, and then I am writing print A and print B. So it will do what? It will give me like this. Now I can write the same thing like this also. Print A comma B. So it will give me 10 space 90 in parallel. Okay. Now what I can do, I can write here print type of A because that is a separate thing, comma type of B. It will give me both of them like this. That also you can do. Right, Sindhu. That will not work. Why you're getting that type of error? I will explain that later on. Why is J here is a complex type? Devashish, that is a predefined thing. In Python, we use iota, I for representing iota. Okay, if you remember complex numbers, so we use I specifically. Similarly, in Python, J is the predefined alphabet to for the iota thing. Okay. Complex, like I said na Sonia, depending on the data. Okay, I have used at one time. It is way back. Okay, it is literally way back. I was working on some kind of scientific data. So at that time, I used complex numbers. Okay, otherwise for normal general purpose things, you won't be using. In data analysis also, I highly doubt you will be using complex numbers anywhere. But again, it depends on the industry you're working in. Okay, suppose you're analyzing some data of maybe of some scientist, let's say. Okay, so at that time you might get complex data. Otherwise, normally no, you won't. Akhil, just put a hash. If you want to put a command, just put a hash before that. Like I've written, I put a hash, so this becomes a command. Those who don't get that not getting the command thing, don't worry, I will explain. Moving forward, next is Boolean. Okay. Next is complex type J. Lohit, do you know what complex numbers are? Do you understand the concept of iota? No, no. Acha, okay. Basically, na, in mathematics, I'm just quickly just there is something called as real part plus imaginary part. Okay. So in mathematics, we under like we think that okay, something is imaginary. Okay. So imaginary part. So in imaginary part, now we have to there is something called as iota. We put iota in there. Iota. So in mathematics, suppose let's say this is there. So in mathematics, how we will write this? I will write it like this: 2 plus 5i. J is not a variable here. J is not a variable. It is not storing anything. It is just representing. J is used just for a representation that it is a imaginary number. Okay, it is the imaginary part of the complex number. Okay, I would recommend one thing, just Google complex numbers, okay, because I'm not the best person because that is mathematics, pure mathematics. Complex number, iota thing. So you can just Google it once. Okay, that is not part of Python. And most of you won't be using complex numbers. If you put a equal to 10 and check type A, it says int. Similarly, if we add two numbers at that time, why we need to declare the data type by adding? Add two numbers at that time. Kunal, why doesn't decide? It will decide on its own, na? Don't need to add. No, you don't need to add anything. No. Suppose you're writing a equal to 10, b equal to 20. Yes. Then c is equal to a plus b. Then c is equal to a means you are storing the value of a inside the c variable. Na? If you're adding, then you have to write a plus b. And then write print c or simply write c. So it will show c 30. Yes. Why? What is mean by non-collection data types? Collection. Don't worry. 322, whoever you are. Okay, don't worry. I will explain. Let me explain Boolean first, and then I will come to this again. Vijayavardhana, complex numbers, like I said earlier, it is just a type of data. Okay, so complex numbers are basically majorly used in mathematical calculations. Okay, so if I say precisely, so if you're dealing with data related to higher order mathematics, so in that case we use complex numbers. In normal day-to-day life, complex numbers won't be used at all. At all. Float. Excellent question, Sri. If I'm writing 10 and here I'm writing 20.0, so C will automatically become 30.0. See, one is integer, second is float. So in case of integer and float, so float will be always given a higher preference. Simply, let me tell you the reason why. Suppose I'm writing here 12 point maybe 3. Okay, so answer obviously will be 30.3. No, it won't be 30 because if it is giving answer 30, it will be an error because it is rounding off 0.3 and we are losing data in that. 30 point, if it is rounding it off, if it is rounding 20.3 as 20, then we are losing data in that. So in order to not to lose data, Python will show the answer in float only. Kunal, that is a separate thing. Don't, I will explain that separately. That is called as typecasting. Okay, moving on to next thing class, Boolean now. Okay, Boolean basically means class having two states, or you can say possibilities. Okay, like what is the meaning of this? Having two possibilities. Suppose let's say in real life, we are saying, okay, today is what? Today is Saturday, right? So today is either Saturday or not Saturday, right? Either it is there or not there. There are two possibilities, right? This is what we term as Boolean in coding. Okay, having two possibilities. Okay, or two states. Okay, like for example, either the circuit is on or circuit is off. There are two possibilities. Either it is raining or not raining. That is Boolean. Now, in case of Boolean class, what we do, there is a keyword that we use. Specifically, we have to write true. Remember, true has to be written like this only. Okay, T should be capital. Remember this thing. Okay, if you don't put T as capital, it won't take it as keyword. Remember what I told you earlier, Python is a case sensitive language. Okay, I didn't say this. I said names are case sensitive, but in general, Python is also case sensitive. Okay, Python as a whole language is case sensitive. That means lowercase and uppercase characters might mean different things in Python. Okay, so when you're writing true, you have to write it like this: b is equal to. When you're writing false, you have to write false ka f capital. Okay, so now if we write a type of A, it will give us bool. If I write a type of B, it will give us bool. Okay, so this is what Boolean means. Okay, some of you might not get why we are using true and false. Okay, give me some time. Okay, once I cover some topics, you will understand what, how, and where Boolean is used specifically. Okay, but for now, you can understand Boolean as having two states, two possibilities. Okay, now coming back to this previous thing, like that I previous this list that I showed you. Okay, I personally categorize. Come here. Where it is. I personally categorize the data types into two categories: non-collection and collection. Non-collection with these four are there that I have already covered: integer, float, complex number, and Boolean. These four are there. Now, why specifically I'm calling these as non-collection data types? Why? Because if you actually see, class, I am storing a single value in a single variable. Do you agree or not? I am storing a single value in a single variable at a time. That is why I am like, understand this in this manner. We are storing a single person in a single room. That is a non-collection. I would call that particular room as a non-collection. Suppose let's say there is only Shah Rukh Khan in the entire Mannat. There is only Shah Rukh Khan lives. Okay. Okay. So that is non-collection because there is a single person only in the entire variable. But suppose if I am saying that Shah Rukh is there, Ayan is there, Gauri is there, okay, and Suhana or something her name is, na? Okay, name is right. Her name is. So Suhana is also there. So now there are four people living in the same house. So now I will call this as collection. When we store multiple values in the same variable, then it is called as collection. If we are storing single value in a single variable, then it is called as non-collection. Okay, that is how I am categorizing them. Okay, now indexable I will explain later. Okay, in some time. I am coming to the first data type of collection that is called a string. Rishikesh, you're right. Wholly true or false, that is there. Just a minute, just a minute. Okay. So next thing that we are starting is your string. Now class, what is string? String is basically, it is a collection of characters. Okay, now what do you mean what do we mean by characters? Characters are basically anything. Characters can be anything that is present on your keyboard. It can be all the alphabets, both uppercase, lowercase. It can be digits. It can be special characters such as at the rate, comma, full stop, slash, question mark. Okay, all these things. It can be space bar. It can be backspace. It can be enter key. Whatever is present, whatever keys are present on your keyboard, which basically are used to for typing for documentation purpose, all of them are basically characters. Okay. So now what is a string? String is a collection of characters stored, written inside quotes. Okay, quotes now can be single. Okay, they can be double also. Okay, no difference at all between single quote, double quote. There is no difference at all. Okay, now suppose, now what kind of data do we store in name? In string, sorry. Suppose we want to store the name of someone. Okay, let's say we can store some location, some address, okay, some paragraph, okay, some kind of I don't know, we can store the marks also. Let me give you an example. Suppose I'm writing here name is equal to Harshil. Now name 1 is equal to Harshil. Now there is no difference between both of them at all. In the first one I'm using single quote, second one I'm using double quotes, but for Python both of them are same. Remember, if you're starting the string with a single quote, then you have to end the string with a single quote. If you're starting with double quote, end it with double quote. Other than that, there is no difference between the two. Okay. If I run this thing, you can see name is also giving me Harshil. Name one is also giving me Harshil. No difference at all. Okay. Now, like I said, what is a string? String is basically a collection of characters. And what is a character? Character can be anything that is present on your keyboard, including the numbers, including the digits. So now, suppose if I'm writing x equal to 12, let's say. Now, totally up to me. My code, my rules, right? I can write z equal to 12 like this also. Now see the difference. If I write here type of x, it will give me integer. If I write here type of z, it will give me string. That means what? As soon as you put anything inside quotes, it will become a string. Be it anything, literally anything. If you write here t is equal to maybe 56.8, and I'm showing you. If you write here type of t, okay, so you can see it is giving you float. But the same thing, if I mention inside quotes, it will give me string. Rohit, I will cover that later on. That is called as typecasting. Sai, I will come to that also. Okay. Now, class, I said that single quote and double quote, there is no difference. Okay. Now, like I said, character can be anything on a keyboard. Now, we are using quote now. Let's say I'm writing here a is equal to let. Okay. Now we are using quote, so let is becoming a string. Now it is completely possible now that the quote. See here, tell me one thing, class. What do you think? This quote is part of data, or it is just for representation purpose? It is just telling us that it is just for telling us it is a string, or it is actually part of data. Quote, single quote or double quote, whatever. It is just for representation, right? It is just telling us it is a string, nothing else. Quotes are not part of data at all. Okay, that means what? Okay, suppose in real life, can any of you give me any example where quote is actually part of data? Some sentence or something, some word where we use quote inside it, quote in the word itself. Exactly, like we write let us. Okay, let's. Okay, so we write it like this, no, let's. So in this case, see, Python will get confused now. It won't understand where the string is starting, where the string is ending. Okay, so in this case, what you can do, you can write here. In this case, since you are using single quote as part of data, you can use double quote outside. Let quotes s, it will work fine. Now let me show you one thing. If I write a type of a, it will give a string only. Now, like I was writing name, so name was this now. Now see, since what is string? String is a collection of characters. All of these are basically stored as individual characters in the memory. Remember this thing, class. HARSHIL. These 7 characters are stored separately in the memory. Okay, separately but together. Like you can say there is a big house having 7 rooms. It is like that. Okay. So that is why I'm calling this as a collection. Now there is a property of collection specifically in Python. What is that? I can use a function called as len of name, which will tell us how many characters are there in the string, in the collection. So here you can see it is giving me 7. But suppose I'm writing x. X is what? X is 12, no? X is the integer. And integers are non-collection. So if I write here len of x, so tell me what will it give us? Rohit, everything is allowed. Whatever is present on the keyword, everything can be taken as a character. It will give us error, class. object of type int has no length. Like why? Remember, understand this class. Hear me out. I have stored the data as what? As a non-collection, as an integer. So it doesn't make sense to use the len function on an integer, on a non-collection. Because in case of non-collection data types, the data is stored as a whole. 12, the data 12 will be stored as a whole. Are you getting this, class? In case of integer, but hear me out. As soon as I write here y is equal to, or like I used the variable z earlier, I am writing 12, and I write here len of z, it will give me what? Now it will give me 2. Because we are storing the data as a string. Understand the difference. When I'm storing the data as a integer, okay, it will give me 1. Sorry, it will give me error because it is a non-collection. It doesn't make sense to use the len function on a non-collection data type, because in non-collection the entire data, whatever however long it is, it will be stored as a uh, single entity. Okay, but in case of string, remember, in case of string, okay, it will always store them as separate individual characters combined together in a single entity, yes, but all of them will be stored separately in the memory. We shall share the code once here, and what exactly where you're getting the error. Ramesh, I will come to index number and everything later. Clear so far, everyone, class? Okay, now what I was saying, I was talking about A. We shall give the entire code. Okay, I can write here now len of A. What do you think will give us? 5 exactly, because there are 5 characters, including the quote, single quote. Let single quote s, total of 5 characters. Okay, I hope all of you understood the string now so far. Perfect. Okay, wait, give me a minute. I was thinking of something. Okay, let me cover that topic also here on. That is a very single thing, small thing. Okay, class, there is something called as escape characters. Okay, and this concept is present, I think, as far as I know, in every language, more the languages that I know, in those languages at least, escape characters are there. Okay, now escape characters are like what? Like, for example, there is enter key on your keyboard. So obviously you won't write enter, na? Okay, there is backspace on your keyboard. There is tab on your keyboard. Okay, so these are, for this, na, basically there are escape characters present. Like for example, for enter key specifically, we use /n. For backspace, we use /b. For this, we use /t. Now /n you will be using majorly. Sindhu, len function is not for non-collection. Len function will only work on collection data types. It is not non-string. Len function will work in string, list, tuple, dictionary set, all 5 of them, because all 5 of them are collection. Okay, now coming back to this escape characters, let's suppose, class, I'm writing here print hello world like this. What do you think will be the output? Hello world, simply, obviously, whatever I've written, it will give it as it is. Okay, but now see, suppose I write here print hello world, but I put a slash in here. So what do you think will happen? Based on what I've written here. Hello /n world. What do you think will happen? Right, exactly. See, so slash n basically means what? New line. Similarly, if I write here slash t, so you can see, if I write here slash b, see, hell, it is writing hello, then it is one backspace, it is removing the O from hello, and then it is printing world. Are you getting this class, all three of them? Perfect. Now, coming back to string, I have not yet completed the string part. See, there are two ways I can write this hello world using slash n. Either I can write like this. Okay, what I am covering currently, this is called as multiple line string. Okay, either I can write it like this, obviously let you understand, or what I can do, I can put it like this. But here you can see it will throw error. So what we can do in this case now, I can use triple quotes. See, either I can use double quotes 3 times or single quote 3 times. Both of them will work in the same manner. See, but yes, I got this class. So triple quotes are basically when we use single quote or double quote, single quote and double quote are basically used for single line string. Okay, triple quotes are used for multiple line string. Okay, you can put multiple line string in this manner also using slash n. That is also same thing actually. Okay, so let's move forward now, class. Actually, one thing, just since I've already explained the concept, plus I have written. Let's suppose I'm writing here my physics marks. Okay, I'm writing here physics equal to 91, and then I'm writing here print physics. I could have written print 91 directly also, no? No? See, same answer. So what is the point of storing 91 in a variable? Exactly. Excellent. Okay. Whoever is saying reusability, excellent answer. Okay. If you if I explain this by a real life example, you um, we fill up water in water bottle, right? Okay. Now, if I want to drink water, I can directly go to the water cooler or tap and directly drink water, right? So, what is the point of filling up water bottle and then drinking from it? Reusability, right? We fill up the water bottle so that we can reuse that water again and again. We can drink it multiple times. Okay. We don't have to go to the water cooler again and again. Okay. That is a benefit of using bottle. So similarly, what variables in bottle are same thing, na? They are also storing some data. Okay. So the point of creating a variable is reusability. How? Let me explain. Suppose you are using this, writing this, and then at some time later, you write here, maybe, I don't know. I am saying that I have scored 4 marks. What the marks I am stored in chemistry is 4 more than the physics. Physics plus 4. Okay. I am writing print chemistry. So it is automatically giving me 95, right? But here, see, now if I want to change the marks of physics, let's say, okay, I know that whatever marks in chemistry is there, whatever marks are there in chemistry, that will be 4 more than the physics. Okay, let's say for the sake of understanding. Okay, chemistry marks is always 4 more than the physics. Okay, so what I will do 92 here. So you can see chemistry marks automatically got changed. But suppose I'm not using the variable. In this case, what will happen? I have written 91 here, 91 here. So it will work fine. But suppose, let's say I want to change that to 92. Then what will happen? I will have to change 92 at two places, right? And it is completely possible that I might forget to change at one place, right? We will have to change it everywhere, wherever we are using that particular data. Are you getting this or not, class? So that the benefit of storing it in a variable is that we store it once in a variable and we can use it n number of times wherever we want to. Okay. Coming back to the topic, string, I hope all of you understood. Okay, single line string, multiple line string, single quote, double quote, triple quotes. Okay. The next topic that we're going to cover, that is class, that is your list. Okay, I will explain indexable sequences in a while. Yes, Sri, you can do that. Uh, Second is list. Now, class, list is what? List is basically, list is the collection of potentially heterogeneous data values. Okay, or the term that we use is elements. Okay, heterogeneous data elements. Elements is a, I can say, the technical time, Korean term that we use in the industry. Okay, it is a collection of heterogeneous data elements. Now, can anyone tell me what is the meaning of heterogeneous? It is English, no? Different type, exactly. Jagdish, not same type, wrong. Okay. Heterogeneous, heterogeneous means different type. Homogeneous means same type. Okay. Heterogeneous means different type of data. I am saying potentially heterogeneous. That means it is not necessary to put different type of data. You can, okay, but it is not necessary. For example, suppose let's say I am saying that okay, I am storing the details of let's say myself. I want to store the details of myself in a list. Okay. So what I will do in that case, I will write L is equal to, let's say I am writing my name. Okay. I have stored a string here. Okay. Let's say I am storing maybe, I don't know. I am storing my height, let's say. Okay. 5.7. Okay. I'm storing my weight, let's say. Okay. I'm storing, let's say, my gender, let's say. Okay. So here you can see we have stored multiple types of data. We have stored a string, we have stored a float, we have stored integer, and we have again stored a string. Okay. So list is a collection of different types of data. Okay. So this can be my details. Okay. Now, suppose let's say my mother asks me to bring some vegetables from the market. Okay. So I can create a vegetable list. Okay. Now tell me, class, if my mother is asking me to bring some vegetables from the market, in this case, what type of data we will be storing precisely inside the list? Siddharth, I will explain mutable, immutable later. Rahil, not necessary integer string float, it can be anything. It can be anything at all, any type of data I can store inside a list. Okay, now here veg list, I will be specifically storing strings only. Okay, I'm saying what vegetables I have to bring, I'm writing that. Okay, so suppose let's say I have to bring, let's say tomato. Okay, let's say I have to bring what all vegetables are there? Brinjal. Okay, there is what? There is potato, right? Okay, then there is I don't know, cucumber. Okay, so you can see all four of them are string. Okay, so here in this case, this is homogeneous. So that is why I mentioned potentially heterogeneous. They can be, apple is not a vegetable. Okay, potentially heterogeneous. Okay, they can be of different types, but not necessarily. Clear class? Getting this term vegetable, sorry, heterogeneous. Perfect. Okay. Now here, if you simply write class type of my detail, so you can, it will give you list. Same thing if you write type of wedge list, it will give you list. Jitesh, I didn't get your question. How it will store ka matlab, what is the meaning of that? Depending on what type of data, it will store them separately. Okay, now yes, okay. Now see, plus I told you list is a collection. List is a collection. Okay. So now in this case, len function will work. It should work. See, 4, because there are 4 elements now. Herschel, 5.7, 80, and male. There are 4 elements in total. So that is why it is giving us 4. In wedge list में भी चलो इसको एक काम करते हैं. Let us remove one of them. Okay. Now if I write here len of wedge list, it will give us 3. Yes, Avinav, I am here. I just joined. Okay, so what you want me to do? I'm not getting. You can watch the recording once if you want to later on. How it will store different types of data. See, hear me out, Jagdish. Like normally we store data, na. Say here I was storing string separately. Okay, I was storing integer separately, float separately. So similarly, in case of list also, there will be multiple rooms. Just for example, in Mannat, the room of Shahrukh will be slightly bigger. The room of Aryan might be little bit smaller. Okay, the let's say there is some maid in their house. Okay, so the room of maid, okay, will be smaller, will be much smaller. Okay, so depending on what type of data is there, it will store them separately. Okay, but it will combine both of them to get all of them in a single house. But otherwise, there will be multiple rooms in the memory. Okay, so that is all about list. Now, class. Now, class, coming back to this. No, or any kind of data type you can store. Any kind of data type, literally, you can store inside a list. Okay. Now, class, we have covered string and list. All okay. That is done. Okay. Abhinav, I'm sorry, I really can't because I have covered a lot of things so far till now. Okay. So revision will take a lot of time. Instead of that, you can watch the recording. I would recommend you to watch the recording. That will be much better. Okay. Now class, before coming to tuple, I want to explain you the concept of indexable. Okay, there is one more concept post that I will cover called as mutable or immutable. Okay, that I will cover indexable. Yes, Lohit, within the square brackets. Now, what is the meaning? Have you heard the term index class anywhere? Index, where index means right sequence, right? Like table of index, table of contents, content, position. Okay, suppose I'm saying that this particular topic is on page number 10. Okay, roll number. So roll number is what? It is also a sequence, na? Similarly, same thing, indexable means here also. Now, what happens in class? Whenever we are storing any kind of indexable sequence, such as string, list, and tuple, these three are indexable. Okay, so what will happen? Python will automatically, since it is a collection, so Python will maintain some kind of sequence. Because tell me, have you ever been to a hotel? I'm assuming all of you must have been to hotel at some point in their life, right? Now, have you seen in hotel there are sequences? Room numbers are arranged in sequence. Room number 1, 2, 3. Room number 301, 302, 304, like that. Now tell me one thing: is the sequence, this same sequence, present in your home also, in your house also? Do you like what we say, numberize, like, do you put any number to the room in your house? No, na, exactly. Okay, so that is the difference between indexable and non-indexable. When we talk about the rooms present in hotel, those are indexable. Okay, the rooms present in our home, they are non-indexable because there is no sequence. There is, let's say, my parents' room is there, then there is a kitchen. Okay, then there is my room, then there is washroom, then let's say there is my sister's room, then there is a storeroom, then let's say there is a maid's room. Okay, so there are multiple rooms present, right? So, and there is no sequence usually in our houses, right? In our houses, there are no sequences, no. Rooms are like randomly placed. Okay, suppose let's say Mamta, or let's say Mamta is coming to my house, okay, to meet me. Okay, so how will I tell ki, okay, which where is the kitchen or where is the washroom? Suppose she asked, okay, where is the washroom? So I will tell that you have to go to the room which is below the stairs. Okay, or I will tell her, okay, go straight and then left. You will find the washroom there. Are you getting my point, class? So I won't be telling the number, na. But in case of hotels, we tell the number, right? Okay. Suppose let's say Rishabh is there. So I will tell Rishabh, okay, Rishabh, you have to come to room number 304. Are you getting this, class, or not? Difference between indexable and non-indexable, clearly. Sorting is different, Imran. Sorting is different. Perfect. You understood till here. Now let me explain how this data is stored. Okay. Now Python जो है ना, Python, what happens in Python? Python specifically follows zero based indexing. That means what? Okay, indexing, the numbering will start from zero. How? Suppose let's say we created name. Now if I write here name and in brackets I put 0, so it will give me H. If I write here name 1, so what will it give me? A. Perfect. Now one more thing, indexing can be done in two ways. Okay, there is positive indexing. Okay, starts from 0. There is negative indexing. Starts at the end with -1. Okay, how? If I write here name -1, what do you think will I get based on whatever I've written here? L, L, exactly. I will get L of Herschel. Okay, if I write here name -2, then what will I get? I, second last element. Precisely, excellent, all of you. I am Jagdish. L. I told you negative indexing, it will be starting at the end. It will start the counting from the right hand side in case of negative indexing. In case of positive indexing, it will start the counting from the left hand side and from 0. Okay, so this is what we call as indexing. Now there is something called as, let's say, wait, coming back, coming with that. Okay. Now we have already created the wedge list, right? Now suppose, let's say my mother asks me, my mother is telling me the uh, names of the vegetables one by one, and I am writing them on a piece of paper or wherever. Okay. Now it happens to see like she will ask me, okay, tell me which is the first vegetable which is the first item on the list. Getting the example? She will ask me which is the first element on the list. Okay, so how we will write this question in code? We will write here veg list 0. So it will give us tomato. First element of the list. Got this everyone class? Pretty straightforward, right? I hope. Perfect. Okay. Now suppose if my mother asks what is the last element of the list, then how will I write? How will we mention this question? -1. No, we cannot write wedge list. Mamta, I guess you mentioned wedge list 2. Can anyone tell me why I cannot write 2? Answer will be same. I agree. But why can I? It will give the second value, not the last value. Are you getting the difference, class? Mamta and others. Suppose let's say there are 10 elements in the wedge list. Exactly, because we don't know the length of the list now. Okay, it can be 10 elements, it can be 100 elements. So if I want the last element, then I will have to mention -1, no matter what. Because I don't know the length. Okay, and in real life scenario, you won't know the length. Tell me one thing, let's say you're a developer in let's say Zomato. Okay, and some XYZ person, let's say Jagdish is there, and he is ordering some food, and he is ordering some, let's say, chapatis from some restaurant. So Mamta, do you know that how many chapatis Jagdish is going to order? No. Do you know how many dishes he is going to order? Which one is the first dish? Which one is the last dish in his order? No, no, exactly. So we have to talk about real time scenario. Why I'm explaining this with the example? See, this problem of like people coming from non-technical background. You have to understand this class. Code. Why we are doing coding? Coding is basically done to implement a real life scenario in computer. Okay, to make our life easier, to make our like real life easier, right? So in real life scenario, there are everything is in terms of variables now. Nothing is constant. Suppose I'm saying that my age is something. Suppose let's say my age is, I'm saying my age is 30. But tell me, will my age be constant? No, no, it is not constant. Suppose I'm saying that uh, let's say I'm saying I have a single child. Okay, will that be constant always? No, tomorrow I can have two child also, right? Two kids also, three kids also, right? I'm saying, let's say I'm saying my location is, let's say, Delhi. Okay, so will that be constant always? Exactly, not necessarily and in most of the scenarios, in 99% of the scenarios, in real life, everything is like we cannot keep constant. Nothing is constant in real life. Okay, so that is why whenever we are writing the code right from the first point, okay, when you're writing the code, remember, okay, you have to write the code in such a manner that it should be robust. It should be able to consider each and every scenario. Right. Yes, I agree. I can write wedge list 2. I can write list wedge list -1 also. Both of them will work in this particular scenario. But when I write wedge list 2, now what? Okay, there is a specific term for this. Can anyone tell me, those are coming from technical background? If I write wedge list 2, what will this be called as specifically? What I am doing here? If I'm writing wedge list 2, so what exactly I am getting? No, no, no. What exactly I'm doing here? What kind of code is this? This is hard code. hard code means that this wedge list 2 will work in a single scenario. If I'm saying that I want to get the last element of the list, okay, so wedge list 2 will give me the last element of the list only when there are 3 elements. Are you getting this, class? Okay, so that's the reason, because I'm explaining this in detail because this mistake is made by a lot of people. This. It is not dynamic. No, we have to make our code should be dynamic. Our code should be robust in a manner that it should work in every case scenario, no matter what we're getting. Right now, you're saying there are 3 elements in the list. Maybe later on, let's say also, it is completely possible that my mother will call me and ask me to add one more, bring one more vegetable. Right? Ramesh, write the code here in the chat. Those who are getting error in the class, anytime any of you get error, please mention the code in the chat. Because I cannot tell you otherwise. Because there can be n number of reasons why the error is coming. Literally. Okay. So are you putting it to why are you putting in 2 lines? Make it in a single line only, no? It should be present in single line first thing, Ramesh. Okay, wedge list. Okay. You have to put square brackets here. Square brackets, not round brackets. Use square brackets. Okay, all of you understood till here, I am assuming. So I'm moving forward now. We should not hard code. Yes. Jagdish, yes. Just to be specific, in some cases we do hard code. Why? Because in some cases we know that is called a smart work then. In some cases we know that no matter what, then let's suppose, let me give you an example. Wait a sec. Uh, all of you were in school at some point in your life, right? Now you know that when we talk about a class, a particular class, let's say section A. So in schools, usually this doesn't happen in college. I'm specific. That is why I'm taking the school example. If I'm saying that there will be 30 students in the class, so there will be 30 students only. No, not more than that, not less than that. Have you seen this? If I'm saying that my batch is of 30 students, that every year, first year, second year, in the first class, second class, third class, fourth class, till 9th, 10th, in every class there will be 30 students in a single class, in a single batch. Right? So in that case, you can hard code. You can mention that, okay, you can mention 29 in that case, because the last element will be present in 29. Getting this, class? If there are 30 elements in the list, so last element will be present in 29, no? Starting from 0. So in that case, you can mention 29, no problem. Okay. Yes, that is hard code, but that won't create a problem in real life, because we know that no matter what, there will be only 30 students. Exactly. We know exact number of students that are going to be there. Okay, but in most of the scenarios, we don't know. In most of the scenarios, comparatively, I am saying. Example of Super 30, excellent. Well, in Super 30, the exact number of students are 30 every year. Like, for example, number of seats in parliaments. Okay, that is fixed, right? That doesn't change. I might just correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not very good with all these things, with the uh, politics and all these things. But I guess that number of seats is fixed, right, in parliament. What if you don't know? You will, Jagdish, you would know every time. In real life scenario, you will know. If you don't know, your client will tell you. Whoever you are working with, they will tell you what kind of data you're getting. Okay, and let's say, just for the sake of discussion, if you don't know, then keep the code robust. Then assume that that it can change. Then make sure your code is robust. It will work in every case. Okay. Now moving on to next class. Next is, I'm covering again a small topic before moving on to tuple. There is something called as mutability. Okay, now mutability means ability to change data change, you can say, specific data without recreating the entire collection. Okay, what do I mean by this? Suppose, let's say I have a string. Okay, suppose I am writing name. Okay, now let's say, just for the sake of explaining, okay, okay, suppose let's say this capital H is there. I want to replace this capital H with small h. Okay, so what I can do, if I write here name 0, it will give me capital H. No? Okay, now what I will do, I will write here name 0. I don't want to recreate the entire string. I just want to change the first one. So I will write here name 0 is equal to small h. So you can see it is throwing an error. String object does not support item assignment. Now, suppose I am writing here wedge list is there. Okay, now my mother says that, okay, do one thing. Instead of brinjal is bagan, right? Brinjal is bagan, right? Name some other thing. Let's say, name some other vegetable. Uh, Onion. Let's take onion. Okay. So now my mother asks me, okay, do one thing. Instead of brinjal, na, bring onion. Instead of brinjal, bring onion. So veg list 1 will give me brinjal, right? Now, instead of brinjal, what I want to do, I want to bring onion. So I will write here onion here. So you can see, in case of string, it was throwing an error. In case of string, it is throwing an error. But the same thing when we are doing in case of, see, the syntax is also same. See, the syntax is also same. Okay, but when I'm doing the same thing in case of your list, it is not throwing any error. Okay, and you can actually see, if I print veg list, you can see it is giving us onion now. So what is mutability? Ability to change a specific data without creating the entire collection. Am I creating the entire collection here, class? Am I creating veg list completely? No, no. I am just changing a single element. So this is called as mutability. Now, in concept of mutability, what happens? There are some data types which are mutable. Some data types are there which are immutable. So when we talk about mutable specifically, so mutable mein what all is there? Mutable mein there is list, there is dictionary, there is set. These three collections are mutable. That means you can change a particular element in these collections without recreating the entire sequence. Okay, but other data types apart from these three are immutable. Be it anything, be it integer, be it float, be it complex, be it Boolean, be it tuple, be it और क्या बचा? Be it string. Okay. So immutable data types means the data types which cannot be modified. Mutable means which can be modified. Let me write it down. This can be modified, not BGP modified, but English modified. This cannot be modified. Got this, everyone, class? Wedge list 1 equal to onion. Ramesh, again, send the entire code. Ideally, it should not. एक second. Wedge list में your L is capital or small? Ramesh. You have created a tuple. Wedge list में, see, I am using square brackets. Remember, class? You have to use square brackets for a list. Then it will become a list. Okay, when you use exactly. Clear, class, till here? Okay, now I'm moving on to next thing, that is tuple. Okay, I hope all of you got. Wait, let me just take the doubts now. Can you please explain then this? When we write x equal to 1, it will allocate different memory location. Yes, Shashank. Yes. When x equal to 1 and when you write x equal to 100, so what exactly is happening here? Let me just quickly show you also that if I'm writing x equal to 1 and then I'm writing x equal to 100, so I'm not mutating it. What I'm doing, I'm basically recreating the entire variable. In this case, the entire variable will be recreated because because integers are immutable. Okay. Sir, in string the data is not mutable, but when strings are defined in a list, then it becomes, understand Sindhu, understand the difference. Tell me one thing. Am I modifying the string or am I modifying the list? Here I have modified the list or the string. Got your answer now, Sindhu? Okay, so let's move forward now. Okay, I was talking about tuple, right? So now I will create the same thing. Okay, I will write here wedge list. Okay, now I will write here wedge tuple. Let's say wedge tuple, same data. Okay, but in parentheses. Okay, round brackets. These are called as parentheses, round brackets. Okay. Now if I write here class wedge list, sorry, wedge tuple 1 is equal to onion, like I did here, you can see like I did with the list. Okay, same thing I am doing here also. Okay. So what do you think class will happen? What do you think should happen if I run this code? I have not executed the code yet. What is maybe? Acha, error maybe. Acha, okay. It will throw error. See in a class here it is visible. Tuple is immutable. Tuple cannot be modified. See, tuple object does not support item assignment. Same error we will getting in string also. See, string object does not support item assignment because both of them are immutable. String is also immutable. Tuple is also immutable. Okay, got the difference class? This is a very famous question. Okay, well, not famous I would say, but this is like widely asked question in interviews. What is the difference between list and tuple? So what will you say in that? List is mutable, tuple is immutable. See, tuple and out of list and tuple, both of them have the same definition. Let me copy the definition first, so you will, I think, understand a little bit better. Wrote this definition for list. I am giving the exact same definition for tuple. Tuple is also a collection of potentially heterogeneous element written inside. Just instead of square, it will become round brackets. Okay, but there is another thing, that tuple is immutable. I hope all of you got till here completely. Okay, now this question will be asked in the interview. So you will say that list is mutable, tuple is immutable. Okay, now most of the people, 99% of the candidates who will be applying for the interview, they will have the same answer. Okay. So what is the, like, think about this now, what is the point of that? As in, if both of, like, one is mutable, one is immutable, so we can create a list and not change it. Are you getting my point? Here, I am creating a list and then I'm changing it separately. So what I can do, if I don't want to change the list, then I will not write this code now. Getting my point? So is there any need of tuple then, class? Is there any need of tuple then? I will create a list, okay, and I will not change it then. I will not change the data in the code anywhere at all. So is there any point of tuple then? No, there is no point of tuple, right? Okay, now there are two more things that you can say. First thing, sometimes what happens now in code, okay, there are like
Seventh is saying, okay, some data is standard. For example, I want to store the Aadhaar card number of all of you. Okay, now tell me, will your Aadhaar card number change? Exactly right. No, your Aadhaar card number will not change. Okay, suppose let's say I want to store your PAN card number. That will also not change. Okay, suppose I want to store your age. So will age change? Age will change, yes. So when I want to store the age of all of you, okay, I will use a list. But if I want to store Aadhaar card or PAN card number, okay, then I will use a tuple. Okay, first thing, first difference. Okay, why? Because when we're reading the code now, so it also helps us to understand. Suppose let's say Rahil and I are working in the same team. Okay, and I have written a code and I am showing my code to Rahil. Okay, so I have stored the Aadhaar card in tuple and I have stored the age in list. So even if Rahil does not know what Aadhaar card number is, even then he will be able to understand that this data will not change anywhere in the code. So just for the understanding purpose, that is the first benefit. Are you getting this example or not? This reason or not? Just by looking at the code, Rahil will understand that, okay, yes, this should not be modified. He won't be able to modify it. Yes, that is another matter. But just by looking at the code, he will understand. First thing. Second, which is the major reason, okay, major difference between the two, since tuple cannot be modified, okay, the processing of tuple is much faster in execution as compared to a list. Got this point, everyone, class? I cannot get into how, because that is entirely a different topic. Okay, that will go into data structures and then we will to see how the backend is working. Okay, but here what I am saying, the tuples, since tuples are immutable in nature, so tuple is faster in execution, faster in processing as compared to a list. Got the difference, class? I am again saying, first difference is tuple is mutable. Sorry, first difference is list is mutable, tuple is immutable. First difference. Second difference is that just for like coding becomes easier when we are using list and tuple. Okay, it becomes like it makes sense. Third difference is that, or you can interchange also. The third difference is that tuple is faster in execution, in processing than compared to a list. Yes, Sai Engineer, exactly. Time taken for processing tuple is less. Your sentence is wrong. Time taken for processing tuple is less. Okay, you're talking time. No? So time, the unit of time is more or less. No? So time taken for a tuple is less because the processing is faster for a tuple. Bracket, see, Mamta, you can say bracket, but that is syntax difference. Okay, I don't consider the syntax difference generally. Okay, if someone is saying that a list uses a square brackets and tuple uses round brackets, so I don't consider that as a difference simply because that is just a syntax issue. That is just a way of writing. Getting my point? You can say if you want to, obviously, okay, but some people what they do in the interviews I have seen, what they do, just they only know one difference, bracket. So in that case, I don't consider that at all. Tuple is faster because of the immutability functionality. So the data structure that is being used in the backend to store the tuple, uh, uh, because see, we know now data cannot be modified. Data does not need to be modified. So we will store it in a tuple. So Python will automatically store it in a different data structure in the backend because it knows that it does not need to be modified at all. It is fixed till the end of the code, unless or until deleted, obviously. Coding makes sense in case of tuple. How? Acha, I was saying coding makes sense means suppose like hear me out. Let's say Ramesh and I are working in the same team. So if I've created a list and a tuple in my code, a separate list, a separate tuple. Okay, even though Ramesh does not know anything about the data, Just by looking at the list and tuple, he will understand that the data inside the tuple will not be modified. It will become easier for him to understand the code, yes or no? Just by looking at the code. That is what I was saying. That coding makes sense in case of tuple because just by looking, see this because when we right now you're thinking that this is not a big deal, but when you're working in a team, so you will be looking at codes of multiple people on a daily basis. There will be 10 people in your team who will be working on different codes, and you will have to look. You will have to. You will be sharing the code with them. They will be sharing their code with you. Should be there are multiple techniques, okay, available, okay, to so that we can understand other person's code better in a faster manner. Okay, because it is not like that. Code is of what 2, 3, 4, 5 lines only. Code can go into literally hundreds and thousands of lines, and there will be multiple codes. So we need faster ways to understand codes of others. Are you getting my point, class? Okay. So just give me a minute, class. It is still 1 p.m. Sindhu, as I was told. Second, um, notice one thing. I'm not saying code. I'm saying code data. Okay. Subhadev, I will be covering functions and everything later on, much later on. I'm just covering data types, all of them. Then I will move to next topic. Functions and all of them will cover later. For all of them, string, list, tuple, dictionary, set. In one go, I will cover all of them. Rami's shortcut is escape then M. Akhil, you're asking or telling me? Acha, becomes easier. Sorry. Becomes easier. Sorry. Becomes easier, not user. Okay, yes. Tomorrow is a holiday class because of Holi. Okay. So you will get a week, I guess. Next week, you will get an information from the team itself. Okay. Konika, I will share this file at the end of the session. Let me at least complete the topics now. Priyank, today's, to be very honest, now I will be sharing assignment from the next weekend because today we are learning ABCD only. So to be very honest, I don't know what can I give in the assignment in this case. Right, ABCD make, what exactly will you make? Rahil, no, there is a holiday tomorrow. Sundar, I will answer you in a while. Okay. Chalo, let's move forward, class. Let me complete the data types topic at least completely. Okay. Next is class dictionary. Okay. Now see string, list, and tuple. As you can see, class, these three are your indexable sequences. That means we can modify. Okay. Once the list we can. Sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay. When we talk about string, list, and tuple, these three are indexable. That means okay, the data is stored according to index values 0, 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, but when we talk about dictionary and set, these are non-indexable. Okay, they are mutable, yes. Okay, dictionary and set, both of them are mutable, but indexing is not present in dictionary and set. The index numbers are not present. Okay, so let's go for dictionary now. Dictionary, though, I think all of you have seen na, in real life dictionary, normal dictionary. Key and value, right? Exactly. Okay. So now dictionary is basically what? No, real life dictionary, that normal dictionary, English dictionary, Oxford dictionary. That is what I'm saying. The dictionary is basically, it is like that only. Okay, I will explain. Dictionary is a collection of key value pairs stored together as items written inside curly braces. This is what dictionary is. Let me explain. Suppose I'm writing dictionary. Okay. And let me explain the reason also. Like, reason is in why we need a dictionary. Okay. Suppose, class, I've written this my detail. Now, can you tell me what is the meaning of this 80? What does this 80 stands for? Matlab, what representing? How do you know, Priyank? Wait, it can be, I don't know, uh, my age also, maybe. Acha, I said earlier, but apart from that, can you tell? No, no, exactly. Okay. Now this thing can be solved using a way. How? What I can do, I can write here my dict is equal to, I will write, no, sorry, curly braces. I will write here name colon Harshil, comma 5.7 क्या था? Height. Height colon 5.7. You can write in a single line also, not a big deal. Okay, just for explaining you, I was writing in separate lines. You can write in a single line also. Then let's say this was weight was 80 and sex is male. Okay, so now here this here in your class, here now what happens? See, I've written dictionary is a collection of key value pairs. That means name is basically what? Name is a key. Okay, and Herschel is the value of that name. Okay, and this together, this complete thing is called as a item. Name colon Herschel, this complete thing is called as a item. Similarly, height colon 5.7 is called as a item. Weight 80 is an item. Sex male is a item. So there are how many items total? 4 items are there. Okay. Name is key, Herschel is value. Height is key, 5.7 is value. Weight is key, 80 is value. Sex is key, male is value. Okay, and they are connected. They are connected to it. The value is basically mapped on the key. How? See, this one I'm just for the sake of m. Okay. Now I will write here class m. See, length of m, so it will give us 4 because there are 4 items. Okay. Hi, Imran. You can call it as Jason also. Okay, those are not getting, don't worry, it is separate thing as of now. Okay, now I can write here. Now see, I told you dictionary is what? Dictionary is non-indexable, right? That means if I say that I want the 0th element of the dictionary, okay, it will give me an error. But 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 if I write here m name, it will give me Harshil. If I write here m, ये क्या है हमारा, weight ले लेते हैं. If I write here m weight, it will give me 80. But reverse is not possible. If I write here m80, it will not work. See, if you have the key, if you know the key, you can get the value out of it. That will not work. Imran? All of you got the dictionary so far, class, everyone? No, Rishabh, you cannot assign multiple values in a dictionary. You can do one thing if you want to. Okay. That will actually be a single value only. Okay. What you can do, you can create a list. So it will be actually a single value only. Suppose let's say Harshil is there, then Rishabh is there. Okay, let's say Sindhu is there. Okay, so here like this can work. Okay, but in this case, if I write here na m, if I say कि अच्छा wait sorry, m equal to I, इसको n कर लेते हैं. Okay, n equal to, okay, so this is n. Now if I write here n name, so it will give me the entire list, because Harshil, Rishabh, Sindhu, these three as a list, as a single list is a value of the name. So there can be a single value only of a single key. Okay, but that single value can be stored as a list or a tuple. You can do it. No, you can change the values. जैसे m में I am saying Harshil is there. I am saying m. Let's suppose my weight is 80. Okay. Now suppose tomorrow, let's say my weight, I hope, okay, which I am trying. Okay, if my hope, if my weight decreases, okay, let's say if I let to be too optimistic, if it decreases to 65. Okay, so what I can do is, got this, class, everyone? Because I said earlier, if you remember, dictionary is mutable. Okay, if you already know the key of a dictionary, you can change its value. Jagdish, I'm not saying in one day, at least support me in this, no? I am saying maybe 1 year, I don't know. You can create a list of dictionary as well, yes. Yes, let's take 2 months because I'm going to join swimming soon. Okay, so, and since your class is at 9:30, so I will be going in the morning. Okay, I will go at 6 p.m. 6 a.m. Yeah, sorry, yeah, I was calculating on that. So how can we get curly brackets? Shift plus ये ना, this the shift plus square brackets वाला key जो है, height and different weight column, we can call both of them ना. You can call m weight, m name, both of them you will get. Like here I'm writing, जैसे अब I'm writing m weight, so it will give me 65. I can write m name, so it will give me Harshil. Oh no, Sri. I will see once I will cover my input now, so all these dots will be cleared. In the dictionary example name, you defined a list of names, right? We can fetch the names using index. Yes. Excellent question. What you can do, class, is n. Now see, hear me out. This I'm saying normally also. Suppose wedge list is there. Okay. Now tell me, if I write here wedge list ka 0, what will I get? Tomato, right? Now the output of wedge, can you tell me the what, if I write here type of wedge list, what will I get? List again, excellent, nice. If I write here type of wedge list ka 0, then what will I get? It will give a string, because wedge list 0 is string. Excellent. Now string is again indexable, right? So what is the output of wedge list 0? Tomato, right? So now if I write here again 0, what will I get? Excellent, right? T. Okay. Well, it is like wedge list ke 0 ka 0. Okay. Zeroth element of wedge list is tomato, and the 0th element of tomato is T. If I write here like this, then what will I get? No, 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 no. I will get P. I'm applying -1 na first. So it will take potato, and then it will take 0th element of potato, P. Same thing can happen in dictionary also. Suppose let's say N is there. So what I can do, suppose if I'm writing here N name, and let's say I need Rishabh. So what should I write here? N name 1. Excellent. And what will this give us? H. Excellent. Okay. So as a class, can I take another 10 minutes? It will just we can complete sets also quickly. This topic will end. That is why I'm saying. Perfect. Okay. Dictionary, I hope all of you have understood for now. Okay. There are many more things that we need to cover, but I will be covering slowly all of them. I'm just giving you an idea of all those things, how these things work, what all data types are there. Next is sets. Okay. Now what is set class? It is a little bit complicated. Let's see. Set is an unordered collection of data elements. Okay, heterogeneous data elements. Same thing here also. Now unordered collection of heterogeneous data elements. Okay. Now see. Suppose class, I was writing tomato, onion, potato. Let's take this. So I will write here wedge set is equal to this thing is already written inside braces. Okay, but like this. Now see one thing. Tell me class tell me one thing. Notice one thing. Is it following the same order of sequence in which I am storing the data? No, that's the meaning of unordered collection. Okay, so now there is another categorization. There is another categorization available. Let me just give me a minute. Let me write it here on the. All of you got this class? In case of string, list, tuple, dictionary. For which purpose you're saying no? See, here ordered means that in whichever order we have stored the data, if if the data is following the same sequence, same order, okay, then it is said to be ordered. Here you can see in case of list, in dictionary, in whatever order we have stored the data, it is when we're printing it, it is present in the same order, in the same sequence in the memory. But in case of set, that is not the case. Okay, now set is the data stored inside a set is completely arbitrary, random. Okay, it is completely possible if I write it might give me same also, it might give me different also. It is completely possible that suppose let's say Mamta creates the same set in her computer, in her system, so she will get the different order. It is completely possible if I run the same code tomorrow again, then I will get a different order. Got the meaning of unordered class now? You can say sorting, but no, it in every case it doesn't. No, it basically just I'm just saying this. Okay, I'm not getting into the specifics. Okay, basically there is something called as hash maps. Okay, so now there are different algos available for hashing. Okay, now most of the algos that in hashing these is okay, so like is basically sorts the data, okay, based on the alphabetical order. Okay, now what happens in case of sets when we're storing the set in a system in our code, okay, it basically uses hashing in the backend. Okay, so yes, in the most of the cases you can say that the data will be sorted, but no, there is no official documentation saying that the data will be stored in alphabetical manner always. I have seen this myself. It comes sometimes it is in reverse, sometimes it is in completely random order. So yes, in this case you can say it is sorted, but it is just a what we say. I don't know the word here. What is a English for ittifaq? Uh, it is just a coincidence, right? I'm sorry. What is the real-time use of sets unordered collection? See, if you remember class, those coming from mathematics background, if you remember sets, we studied union, intersection, all those things. In I think 11th or 12th, I think CBSE board, I studied sets. Okay, so same thing. Those sets and this set is same. Once you will understand, once I will start operations now, so you will understand how sets are used. But that set, mathematical sets and Python sets are did to same. We can do intersection, all those things here also. Senthil, you can say in some sense, set is listed in unordered collection. Not that is not the right way, but just for the understanding purpose, you can consider it for now. Ramesh, in case of set, there are elements, na. In case of dictionary, there are items. Key value pair is there, na. There is a colon bhi to hai na. There is a colon in between, right? Just by looking at the code, you can see that okay, this is a dictionary because there is a colon, there is a key value pair. But in case of set, there is no key value pair. There are just simple elements. Okay, we use the term item for dictionary. For string, we use the term characters of a string. Okay, and for list, tuple, and set, we use the term elements of a list, elements of a tuple, element of a set, item of a dictionary. Key value pair is called as item.